I want to start this episode with something really personal. And I have never actually said this on the podcast before, but I spent years, actual years, waiting for someone to come along and fix my life, a partner, a mentor, a lucky break, some kind of rescue. And one day I just realized something. The person I was waiting for was me. It was always me.
That is one of the most honest things you have ever said on this podcast. And I think a lot of people listening right now just felt something because we have all been there. We have all had that moment where we are just waiting for something, for someone, for life to finally start.
And the crazy part is, you do not even realize you are doing it. You do not wake up and say, I am going to wait for someone to save me today. It just happens. It becomes your default mode. And today, we are going to talk about why that happens. And more importantly, how to stop.
Because here's the thing nobody wants to say out loud. Nobody is coming to save you. And that sounds harsh. I know it does. But actually, it is the most freeing thing you will ever realize.
So, let us start here. Why do so many people unconsciously wait to be saved? Because most people do not even realize they are doing it.
I think it starts when we are kids, honestly. Think about every story you grew up with, every movie, every fairy tale. There's always a hero who shows up at the last minute and saves the day. Cinderella gets rescued by the prince. The superhero flies in just in time. We are literally trained from childhood to expect that someone or something will come along and change everything.
And that is a really important word you used, trained, because it is not a choice we make. It is something that is built into us through stories and culture and even the way our families work sometimes. Like, do not worry, someone will figure it out. Or just wait, things will get better on their own.
Exactly. And there is actually a term for this in psychology. It is called learned helplessness. And that basically means, in simple English, when you have tried to change something and failed enough times, you just stop trying. You start to believe that nothing you do matters. So you wait, because waiting feels safer than trying and failing again.
And the tricky part about learned helplessness is you do not feel helpless. You feel practical. You tell yourself things like, I am just being realistic, or I am waiting for the right moment. But really, you are just stuck and you do not even know it.
And here's where it connects to learning English, actually. I have talked to so many English learners who say things like, I will start speaking when my grammar is perfect, or I will practice when I find the right course. And that is the rescue fantasy. You are waiting for some perfect condition that will never arrive.
That is a really powerful connection because the perfect condition does not exist. Not for English, not for your career, not for your life. If you are waiting for everything to be perfect before you start, you will wait forever.
So let us talk about what you actually lose while you are waiting, because people do not realize how expensive waiting is.
And you do not mean money.
No, I mean time, confidence, growth, opportunities. Every single day you spend waiting for someone else to fix your life is a day you could have spent building something meaningful on your own. And those days add up fast.
I actually know someone like this, and I do not want to give too many details. But this person stayed in a job they absolutely hated for 5 years. 5 years. Because they kept thinking maybe the company will change, or maybe I will get promoted, or maybe my boss will finally notice my work. And none of that happened, obviously.
5 years. That is a long time to wait for something that was never coming.
And the sad part is, when they finally left and started something new, they said to me, I wish I had done this 4 years ago. And that sentence, I wish I had done this sooner, that might be the most common regret in the world.
It really is. And there is a vocabulary word that fits perfectly here: accountability. Accountability. It means taking responsibility for your own choices and your own life. And accountability is the opposite of waiting. When you hold yourself accountable, you stop blaming circumstances, you stop blaming other people, and you start asking yourself, what can I do right now with what I have?
And that question, what can I do right now? That is the most powerful question in the English language, or any language, honestly.
Because it shifts everything. It moves you from passive to active, from waiting to building, from hoping to doing. And that shift is where everything changes.
So, we have talked about why we wait and what it costs. Now, let us talk about the actual shift. How do you stop waiting and start saving yourself?
The first thing, and this might sound small, but it is actually huge, is making a decision without asking everyone's opinion first. Think about how often you ask other people what you should do. Should I take this job? Should I move to this city? Should I start this project? And there is nothing wrong with getting advice. But if you cannot make a single decision without 5 people validating it first, that is not advice seeking, that is dependency.
And that word, validation, validation, is a really important one. Validation means getting approval or confirmation from other people that what you are doing is right, and everyone wants validation sometimes. That is human. But when you need it before every decision, that is when you have outsourced your own power to other people.
Outsourced your own power. I love that phrase because that is exactly what it is. You have given other people the remote control to your life, and you are just sitting there waiting for them to press play.
And here is something important: saving yourself does not mean you do not need people. I want to be really clear about that because sometimes self reliance gets confused with isolation, and they are not the same thing at all.
Right? Self reliance, SELFRELIANCE, means trusting your own ability to handle your life. It does not mean doing everything alone. It means you stop needing permission to begin. You can still ask for help. You can still lean on people. But the decision to start, that comes from you.
The simplest way to say it is you can have a support system without having a dependency system. Support lifts you up, dependency holds you back.
Write that down, everyone. Support lifts you up, dependency holds you back. That is the difference.
And practically speaking, becoming your own hero looks like small things: setting a boundary for the first time, starting something without knowing how it will end, saying no to something that does not serve you, which, by the way, we talked about in our last episode.
And if you have not listened to that one, go back and listen. It is about the art of saying no. Really good content there.
So, I want to share something about that moment, the moment you actually stop waiting, because it is not a big dramatic Hollywood moment. It is usually really quiet.
What do you mean?
For me, the moment I stopped waiting was a Tuesday. A completely normal day. I was sitting at my desk and I just thought, nobody is going to do this for me. Not with anger, not with sadness, just clarity. This is my life. And if I want it to change, I have to be the one to change it.
I had a similar moment. Mine was when I was waiting for an opportunity at work, genuinely convinced that if I just waited long enough, someone would notice my work and promote me. And after about 2 years of waiting, I finally asked myself, what if nobody notices? What if the opportunity does not come? What then? And that question scared me, but it also woke me up.
And that is the thing. The wake up moment is always a question you ask yourself. It is never a speech someone else gives you. Nobody can save you because nobody knows what you actually need. Only you know that.
And the moment you decide to save yourself, you realize you were never as stuck as you thought. You had options the whole time. You just needed to give yourself permission to see them.
So, let us bring this all together. If there is one thing I want you to take from this episode, it is this: you are not broken, you are not stuck, and you are definitely not waiting for someone to come and rescue you. Not anymore.
You have everything you need to take the first step. Maybe not the second step, maybe not the 10th, but the first one, You have had that inside you this whole time.
And saving yourself does not have to look dramatic. It can be as simple as, I am going to practice English for 10 minutes today. I am going to set one boundary this week. I am going to make one decision without asking for permission. That is it. Start there.
Because here's the beautiful thing about saving yourself. Once you start, you cannot stop. It builds on itself. One small act of self-reliance leads to another, and another. And before you know it, you have built a life that you chose, not one that happened to you.
And if nobody told you today, you are strong enough. You always were.
Always.
If this episode meant something to you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Maybe they are waiting too. Maybe this is the conversation that wakes them up.
Thank you for listening. We will see you in the next one.